Hello again. Like so many people, I have been perplexed and not a little irritated to see the alternative universe shown in British advertisements, a world in which black people make up the majority of the population and the only white women shown seem to be married to black men. Very often, white men are entirely written out of the picture. I know that a number of viewers have remarked here about this phenomenon, and there are some who attribute it to a cunning plan by Jews who are running the advertising industry. It seems there might be another explanation. Earlier this year, the Ministry of Justice advertised for prison officers at Wormwood Scrubs Prison in London. In the description to this video, I give a link to a news item about this, and on the thumbnail, you can see the advertisement itself, which is illustrated by a photograph which shows a genuine prison officer talking to a real inmate. Nothing wrong there, you might think, but you would be quite wrong. After all, 90% of prison officers are white, and in London, at least a third of the prisoners are black, so this is a fairly typical and unobjectionable scene in a London prison. The Advertising Standards Authority, though, has come down heavily on this advertisement and, in fact, banned it for being racist. Apparently, it shows an imbalanced power dynamic, which reinforces a negative stereotype based on the association between black men and criminal activity. It was, and I quote, likely to cause serious offence on the grounds of race by reinforcing negative stereotypes about black men. The fact that black men are disproportionately represented in prison seems to have escaped notice. It appears that the Advertising Standards Authority has a very strict view about the way that black people can be shown in advertisements, and that they must not be shown as powerless or in any stereotypical role. Only positive images are allowed to appear. This case, which the ASA, by the way, launched off its own bat, nobody actually complained about the advertisement, has drawn attention to the guidelines to which they work, and it goes some way towards showing why black men in advertisements are never shown in humdrum jobs like being security guards or hanging around on street corners. They must be shown as prosperous and in high status positions. So it is that advertisers who wish to be with it and multicultural, with a black man in their pictures, have to ensure that he is a reliable husband, business executive, and so on. I hesitate to mention that in Nigeria, the government has recently banned the use of white models entirely, and it is now a legal requirement that all models shown in films or photographs for advertisements must be Nigerian. Would that we might have such an arrangement in this country. In the description to this video, I give a link, as I say, to a news item about the case. It's one of those little stories which, upon reading, we find a number of things falling into place, and we are better able to see what is going on in the country. We are not told the details of the criteria by which the Advertising Standards Authority decides that an advertisement is not up to scratch as far as its depiction of the multicultural society is concerned, but I would guess that showing white men rates a black mark, and featuring mixed-race kids gives a few bonus points. Mixed-race families with a black man and a white woman are acceptable, but nobody wants to see a white man with an Indian partner, say, and Chinese people are not needed at all. This latest case has actually revealed something very interesting, and I have an idea that more will be coming to light soon.